What's good, people? I'm GALANACCI the Creator, a Manila-born, Cardiff-trained and London-raised artist, designer, creator, and I am the founder of the luxury human wear brand GALANACCI, pioneering self-discovery and greatness. So let's get down to it. This is episode 6. It is Saturday right now. Yeah, it is what day is it though? 17th of February. We're just gonna run down what we did this week and just get into it. So this week I've been styling GALANACCI Pieces, and when you're running a brand, clothes need to be obviously seen on a person. So styling is one of them, and a creative way to showcase your pieces from your brand. And I sort of focused on experimenting different ways you could wear the piece. So not just like so say you have a hoodie, I'm not like looking at like the conventional ways of wearing it. So I sort of challenged myself to create a look from these pieces, a sort of a more challenging look, you could say. So for example, for the abstract zipped hoodie, I did 2 looks. So one, just wearing it regularly, just put it on, zip it up. And then the second look, I did it on my girlfriend. It's a take on the Filipiniana. So it's a cultural wear a traditional cultural wear that women wear in the Philippines. I come from the Philippines. I'm Filipino, so I wanted to put that heritage concept within that look. So I wrapped around the sleeves onto the body, and then had the shoulders protruding, which obviously is a reference to the Filipiniana. And I think it looks sick, really sick. Like it brings out just the overall concept nicely, even though it's just a hoodie. But it's the way you play with the pieces, right? You push yourself to think creatively, and you style it in a way where you wouldn't even think of, and that was one of them. So that was really dope, as you can see in these images. And also, yeah, when I was obviously recording whilst I was creating these looks, and I record because I prefer to take stills from the videos that I take, because sometimes I feel that photography, when you're taking a picture, it's hard to capture movement, natural movement, without you posing, because you want it to be in the moment. So I video instead of taking pictures. But taking pictures is also good, but if you're doing it on your own, like myself, use a video you wearing the piece, move around, then take the stills from that, and then use that as the images, because then you'll find that certain angles look better, which you won't really capture if you're doing it on your own. And let's see. And yeah, also for like the post-production stuff, I've been experimenting. I didn't want to look like everyone else and like how they do their lookbooks and their stylings. As you can see on the screen, I sort of have this very artistic approach, like it's sort of like very artsy, so dreamy in a way, and abstract. And I like that about it, because most looks that you see, they're pretty boring, to be honest. And this is also one way of approaching it, especially when you don't have like a photography studio that you have access to, obviously, because you have limited funds and whatnot. So with this, you could just do it in your bedroom like I did on this, and then using my iPad, I just played with with Procreate and, you know, painted the back so that in a way the background seems more clean, professional in some respect. And then that's the thing, right? With these, when running a brand, you have limitations. So yeah, restrictions such as, you know, the budget, funds, access to these, like a photography studio, then this will allow you to push. So your restrictions, your specific restrictions will allow you to push innovation and creativity. So whatever you have, you use that, and then you use that to be creative, you know, and then that's what I'm doing right here, as you can see. So everyone has their own specific limitations, whether it be the money, the studio, or even just the clothing or whatever. Use that to your advantage, and that's the only way you'll be able to push for innovation. And then these little details that is specific to you, that will make you stand out. And yeah, some of the looks that I did also explored the spirit of boxing, because obviously GALANACCI, the brand in itself, has the spirit of boxing integrated into it, because it was inspired by boxing. That's where I first saw greatness, and that's what GALANACCI is about. Pioneers of greatness. You got the Muhammad Ali's, the Mike Tysons, the Jack Dempsey's, the Jack Johnsons, you know. It's a whole lineage, right? And I wanted to play on that, the whole concept of a champion. So back then in the 1900s, way before boxing belts were a thing, they used sashes, and you would tie that around your waist to signify that you're a champion. And in this look, I wanted to take that concept and integrate it, since there's a scarf, my girlfriend's scarf, in the wardrobe that's the same color as the leather jacket that I'm styling. So I paired those two up, threw on some hand wraps and boxing shoes, and then took a look, threw in a hat just to add a little bit of touch, like my own spin on it. And then boom, you get this really dope look. I was doing more of a movement type thing, so I was throwing punches whilst I was recording it, so that I could get like the right frame that would really frame the overall jacket whilst it's in movement, as you can see. And yeah, it's always the things that we do, that I do, it's always tied back into the brand values of GALANACCI. So the boxing, the heritage, all of that, it's always going back into the brand's like deep roots, and it then obviously bleeds into the looks, the way we style things and whatnot. And yeah, that's pretty much with the whole styling bit. And we also prepared some orders, so shout out to all of you guys who copped the piece. And I actually added a new colorway for the core hoodie, so it's, instead of just jet black, you can get it in ecru. Ecru is a word for basically a sort of beige color. But yeah, I was preparing a beige core hoodie. Yeah, the second one that I've basically made, really. And I guess people really like the ecru color, so I've made that now available. So if you want to cop a core hoodie, that's the Pioneers logo at the front, and then the K2G emblem at the back. Go at it. And yeah, so with these orders, right, I focus on packaging experience. So the way I pack these orders is I have multiple layers. So you have the postal box, and then within that postal box you have the actual garment that's wrapped in a tissue paper. So this is sort of like a very thin layer of paper that just covers the piece, and then the second layer is craft paper. So I use this black craft paper that I wrap like a gift, you know. So it's like it's Christmas. That's how the vibe that I'm trying to give with this packaging experience. It's like a very, it's like your grandma wrapped up a gift and gave it to you. That's the kind of like thing I'm going for. And you have this gift wrapped in the paper, and then that's in the postal box. So in a way there's like triple packaging, and it's just all for the packaging experience. When you open it, you'll be like, wow, this is nice. And it also has all the brandings, hand stamped by me. You already know. It's all about those details, you know. You're paying for the experience and the meaning behind these pieces. So not just like the clothing in itself. And yeah, man, like I said on the previous episode, the abstract greatness zipped hoodie, that I was gonna either sell it or gift it. So I actually decided to gift it, and I gifted it to Jumper, who's a sick MC producer from London. He's upcoming, he's emerging. He actually went to he performed last night at Art Sec Gallery in London, in Smear Road. It's like a dope art gallery, and they also like do these little events for upcoming artists, musicians, whatnot, to showcase their talent really and push their creations out there. And Jumper was performing there. I gifted him the hoodie. He told me he was gonna actually go open it when he gets home, because it was like nicely packaged and whatnot. But then little did I know, he fucking wore it, man. He wore it whilst he was performing. So that was really dope. He was fucking sick. Like, you know when you're in front of someone and they're in the zone, like they're performing and they're literally, they put their heart and soul into their craft. And I saw that in him, right? And I don't just support people like that. Like I support people who I see a reflection of myself, you know, because at the end of the day, it's all the same brand, you know. We're making things happen, making our creations come to life. Like this vision that we have in our mind, we putting it out there. And I saw that in Jumper, you know, when he was performing Same Old Story. That's his latest drop. It's a fucking sick music.
I get the drip from next to teeth. I get the drip when I beat the pressure. Learn all my lessons and more. How can I be broken poorly? Man, they're rapping the same old.
Should bump it up. It's sort of like a new grime type vibe, UK grime, but you know, it's catchy. The beat is disgustingly good, and he produced the beat, wrote the lyrics, and did everything, man. Like, he's a pure artist, and that's why I fuck with him, man. He's dope. And yeah, man, support these upcoming creatives, man, especially if you're an upcoming brand owner, you know. Link up with these people, man. 5 to 10 years, they're gonna be the ones that are on the top, right? So build those networks, build those genuine relationships. And that's what I'm doing with Jumper. Like, I met him about maybe 2 years ago. I saw him like on TikTok, and it wasn't even the music. He was just like spitting gems. He was like, he'd be taking videos walking on the park, just talking about mindset and visions and, you know, all of that stuff. That's what gravitated me to go like see what he's doing. And then it just turns out he made music, and then I just followed this journey. And you know, last night was the first time of me seeing him perform live, and it was just pure energy. So yeah, man, it was dope. And can't wait to go support many of those like upcoming artists that I'm already like eyeing, you know. But yeah, man, always show love to these upcoming artists, creatives, because it's tough out there, man. It's tough. Okay, let's see. Everything, but yeah, no, listen to Same Old Story on Spotify or Apple Music. Run it up, man. And yeah, that should wrap it up. And lastly, thank you, Matthew Pine. He dropped a question in the previous episode for the Q&A section of these videos. So let's just get down to it. What is your philosophy about perfection? And how do you contend with the fact that perfection is something we strive for as humans, but is something that is unattainable? Yeah, that's a really dope question. Because for me, I'm an artist, designer, creator, and I'm a fucking perfectionist. So, like, let's say before like I really went ham posting my artworks online, before I even got to that stage, like, I would need everything to be perfect, right? But then it got to that point where, nah, this is too much, man. Like, I'm overthinking the details a little too much. And perfect, it doesn't exist in the real world. There's always flaws, and flaws are part of creation. And that's what makes something unique. It's the flaws. It's not because it's pure, flawless, and perfect. So I kind of learned to overcome this whole concept of perfection. We should all strive for perfection, don't get me wrong. But it doesn't exist, which is good, because then that means if you're striving for perfection, you're gonna naturally improve and develop each time. But don't allow it to paralyze you. So that's how I approach perfection and the whole concept of it. Like, it is unattainable, but if you strive for it and you work towards it and you approach it day by day, you're going to gradually improve. And that's how I approach the 365 series. Like, I couldn't make the dopest looks every single day. It wasn't about that. It was about improving day after day after day, so that after 365 days, you have this body of work. All of them might not be like perfection, but there will be bits where we'll be like, yeah, that's sick. That one's sick. And it's just all about improving. That's how you should approach perfection. Improve every time that you show up. And yeah, man, that should answer the question. But yeah, man, that should wrap up this week. Thank you for watching. If you've reached this part, drop your questions down here. I'll answer them on the next episode. Yeah, man, that's GALANACCI signing out. Peace.